everybody, welcome back to the Happy Investor Podcast. And today I'm joined by my friend Vicky Harrison. Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here, Sophie.
I'm so happy to see you, and we need to get together in person soon because we always have a lovely time, don't we?
Absolutely. Lots of laughs.
Yeah. Did we meet at a retreat, or was it the London day?
It was a retreat, actually.
Yeah.
An incredible retreat as well.
Yeah. We need to do much more of that. Didn't we all have our own, bathtub in the garden or something?
Yeah. There was, yeah. It was a hot tub, pretty much in a car park.
Oh, yeah. But it was such a nice group, wasn't it? And it was just such a lovely retreat that we went on.
Yeah, great energy. Lots of shifts for everyone there, I remember, as well, during that time.
Yeah, definitely. So more retreats are needed. But can you introduce yourself to anyone that doesn't know you? So tell us all about you, your background, and what you do now.
Yeah, so I'm Vicky Harrison. I actually come from like a corporate HR background, but then moved into self-employment, believing what everyone told me that was the ticket to freedom. Actually realized I just created another job for myself. And then after running my own business for a few years, have recently, as you know, over the last year, moved fully into being a network marketing professional. So that's what I do kind of full time, with a side gig on the side as well at the moment, recently taking on a part-time job. Yeah.
Amazing. So when I met you, it was all about branding, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And how did that go for you? Because you were smashing it, you were successful, but then you shared that maybe it wasn't the best thing for you at the time, and then you pivoted away from it. So tell us about your whole branding stuff.
I think this is super interesting because I think as your business evolves, as you kind of evolve, I think looking back, I replaced kind of corporate career identity with mum identity. And then I quickly was like, oh, I need a new identity. I can't just be mum. So I was like, oh, I'm a business owner. That's my identity. So I started coaching, and that moved into personal branding because that's what my clients were naturally talking to me about. And I had a blast. Like, the business really took off, word of mouth. I was getting clients. I had a personal branding agency. I think from the outside, it looked like I was killing it, and it looked really successful. But there was something about it that just didn't feel aligned. And I think when your business takes up so much of your time and your energy, and it's not quite in alignment with either your values or what you're looking for, there's only so long that path can go until you kind of listen to that voice. But it's really hard when you've got all that external validation, like clients and everyone going, wow, this looks amazing. I'm like, it doesn't feel that amazing, but great, So I made the decision that from the outside looked really scary to other people. I remember telling some people, and they were going, why? What? To actually just close down the business. It just wasn't lighting me up. As you know, at the same time, I went on a personal health journey. At the time, I'd lost 30 kilos. That's now 40 kilos over the last 2 years. And I just wanted to fill my time and my energy and space with things that fueled me up. And that was wellness and being social and all that other good stuff. So yeah, it was a big decision. But now looking back, I had to go through that. I was really proud of that business. But as you probably feel, I often think being an entrepreneur is like a personal development program with a paycheck attached.
Yes. Yeah.
You just kind of evolve and grow. And as you do that, your business or your investments and kind of what you're involved in adapt and grow with you. So that was just the start of the next chapter, really, I think.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's such a brave thing to do, because you do think, right, if I stop this business, what are people going to think? What's going to happen? It's also a cash flow, terrifying thing. How did you manage that part of it, of closing that and starting another?
I think, again, there's so much investment involved in getting a business to work effectively, right? You kind of go through all the strategists and everything else, and you're in your rhythm. So when you actually decide, I'm going to turn off that tap now, it is a really big decision. We had to have some big conversations in our house, and strategically, and from I think just a happiness point of view, a frequency point of view in our house, we just decided it was best to actually use the energy as the currency rather than the money, and be like, right, if I actually invest all of this in this direction, we could be in a different place a lot quicker. And that was the thought process behind it at the time.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, because it is a massive thing that you've done. It's a huge leap.
Yeah.
So amazing. And tell us what you got into, because network marketing has got, like, there's taboos, there's people who hate it, there's people that love it. Why is it so controversial?
I think it's controversial. First of all, I said no 6 times to this opportunity. When
Okay.
I said no 6 times. Someone I know very well approached me 3 years ago. I said no. 2 years ago, I said no. And she just got me at the right time, I think. Maybe I was sleep deprived at the time or something. And I just said, let me have another look at this. But I think it comes from a lot of just misunderstanding, a lot of urban myths and things that happened in the 80s. We do come across the word pyramid scheme quite a lot from that kind of just misunderstanding for what it is. But in its simplest form, it's affiliate marketing, which we're all doing anyway. We're recommending products. We're getting commission for any products that we use and recommend them to our friends. And that's where the majority of my income comes in, through affiliate marketing. And then if anyone else wants to know how to become an affiliate and earn money for themselves, I can bring all that experience from coaching, from personal branding, all that mentorship for free. And if I help them become successful, that also supports me in growing my business. And that flip of actually understanding that, because I think a lot of people feel about network marketing, oh no, my friend's in network marketing, now she's going to be hammering on my door,
Yeah.
selling me Tupperware nonstop, or this like new gadget nonstop, but it's actually so much more the other way around. I make money from selling my products anyway, but it all comes from supporting other people to be successful. And then that kind of fuels your success. And that's such a exciting kind of circuit to be involved in.
Yeah,
Where
I
everybody-
have actually heard from people in it that the energy in the community is really nice.
yeah, it's next level. I reckon I've gone through more personal growth in the last year than maybe the last 20 years, because it really helps you confront yourself.
Mm.
You talked about, what are people going to think? What's everyone going to say about me? Maybe when I'm not in the room, or like, and you have to really ask yourself those questions. What kind of a life am I building? What's important to me? What do I stand for? We know each other well, and integrity is just like top of my list. So I had to be really sure that I was comfortable going out there, like representing myself in this way, and comfortable with what I'm building with this, opportunity.
Have you found that your background, because you've got loads of business experience and the personal branding stuff and the HR stuff, has that really helped you in this business as well?
Yeah, and I think I think what can be really scary for a lot of us, if we're thinking about some kind of a pivot or a sidestep, I'm in my 40s. So I was like, am I really going to waste all those years of experience and like start again or do that? But I think the great thing about network marketing for people that are stepping into it is, no matter what your experience, stay at home mum, teacher, beauty industry, fitness industry, you can just bring all of that knowledge to support and coach others as well, which is so nothing is ever lost. It's only ever kind of given a new lease of life, really, and channeled in a new direction.
Yeah. And the one that you've joined is all about wellness, isn't it?
All about wellness, longevity. Like I said, woman in my 40s, top of the agenda at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do I look after myself? And I think going through any kind of health journey, first of all, it started off as a superficial thing, right? I just wanted to lose weight. But I think as you become more educated and it becomes part of your lifestyle, just started learning loads more about, health span, not just lifespan. It's about actually not just being around for more years. I want to be able to move for those years, think clearer for those years. As a woman going through the perimenopause as well, I was like, how do I fuel my brain and my body in a different way to make me kind of feel more like I'm functioning at like the right level and stuff. So partnering with a brand that was all about that stuff was
Yeah.
really important to me, because
Yeah.
that was where my fire had been lit.
Yeah.
And my research rabbit hole had kind of taken me down to.
And you talked about alignment before. This sounds totally aligned for you, because you
Yeah.
were on that health journey and now you get to talk about stuff all the time and you're just glowing. You look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. You know, they that famous Steve Jobs quote where he says, you know, you just cannot connect the dots looking forward, but when you look back at the dots, it
Yeah.
actually feels like a really clear pathway leading to this point. And it really does. You know, I mean, do you know the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, the one who did Rich Dad, Poor Dad? So he's got this quadrant where on the left-hand side, you've got employed and self-employed. And on the right-hand side, you've got business owner and investor. And on the left-hand side, it's all about trading time for money. You know, so when we're employed, we're trading time for money. And then as we become self-employed, we think we've got a business, but we've actually just created a job for ourselves. We're just our own boss. And we're again trading that time for money. And I think a lot of us, when we set up businesses, that's where we end up. And I was always looking for a way to cross over to that
Yeah.
right-hand side where you get the real leverage, whether you know, own the investments or you own the system, and that can kind of create that real freedom. So it was something that allowed me to operate in an area I was super passionate about, raising other women up, which, you know, we are both super passionate about in our driving force. But also it was moving me to that other side of the quadrant where it just created that system that could be duplicated and leveraged.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's your team that is growing, that is bringing you that income as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've got an amazing group of women, predominantly down the Southwest, but also over the UK. Everyone just excited about being the best version of themselves and creating true freedom and flexibility.
So nice. And is it something you can do around your kids as well? Because you've got little ones, haven't you?
I've got a 3 and a 5-year-old, both girls, not for the faint-hearted. For sure. But it's amazing to have something that I can do in pockets of time.
Yeah.
And, you know, but actual pockets of time. I've been very good at actually setting alarms and stuff recently and actually being super focused. I mean, I don't know how you manage your time because you've obviously got a lot going on as well, but I just found I was just sitting down for ages and writing lists, rewriting lists, doing the other stuff. Getting a clear time is really helping me at the moment, just to do it in the pockets of time, but make like massive strides.
Yeah. What have your main challenges been with this business?
Mindset in terms of shifting the narrative, in terms of always feeling like if people don't understand this, I had to make them understand it, and just feeling really comfortable actually with the fact that I know what I'm creating. I've got that vision. I'm surrounded by amazing women who are also building that. And also, I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. Definitely, as always, just enjoying the process and not always kind of waiting for that milestone to celebrate it, just kind of celebrating
Yes.
along the way and kind of acknowledging that step-by-step progress is an ongoing learning curve for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to be better.
Yeah. It's so important to celebrate the little wins, isn't it? It's so important. Because as you say, there's always going to be another milestone. There's always going to be something you're reaching for. But
Yeah.
yeah, we need to enjoy the present and appreciate it.
Yeah. And someone shared something the other day that I just love, which was like, my default was always setting my business goals. Like when I sat down for the year, I was like, what am I going to achieve in business? And then as a secondary thing, I would be like, and what do I want to achieve in life? I think, but it was like starting with the life goals for the year and being really clear actually about what does the life I'm creating this year look like? What I want to be doing? What does my time allocation look like? How do I want to feel? And then from that, creating the business goals that fuel that rather than the business being the focus, just to help create that right balance in everything. And you actually make more progress that way anyway.
Yeah, that's so important, isn't it?
Counterintuitive. Yeah.
I think so many people with their business who have businesses are just focused on the on those goals.
Yeah.
So yes, you should definitely do it the other way around, and then you'll be much happier, won't you? And do more of the things that make you happy,
Yeah.
which is what life is all about.
100%.
So, what does this year look like for you? What have you got going on? What are you excited about?
So, continuing kind of on my health journey, I'm a big believer in just signing up for things, making decisions, maybe regretting it later. Following your gut. So I've got a couple of kind of endurance style fitness thing coming up.
Yeah.
Um, that I buddied up with one or two people from the gym to do. So I'm kind of, from a health perspective, really focusing on that at the moment. And then from a business perspective, I've just got such a huge goal for like supporting as many women as possible, but 200 people in the Southwest this year, about helping them set up their own businesses, create that freedom for themselves, and just creating an incredible community. You know how important community is for us, and having a space all about wealth, wellness, community, that is what we're busy building down here in the Southwest at the moment. So exciting
Love
year
it.
ahead.
That's amazing. So did you say you've lost 40 kilos?
Yeah, over the last 2 years.
How have you done that, Vicky? Share it,
Yeah.
please.
It's been, again, community is a really big part of it, I would say. I didn't consistently stick at anything until I found a space in which I knew I could repeatedly go up and be real. Again, targets and focus, signing up for something and regretting it later. Secretly signed up for the London Marathon and didn't tell anyone, impulsively. And went from, not being able to run for 30 seconds to completing the London Marathon. And
That's
having
incredible. That is so incredible.
having that non-negotiable deadline
Hmm.
really helped. So
Yeah.
and
Okay, so
it
we
got
should
me
sign up
moving.
for terrifying things.
Yeah.
Sign up for a 5K, a 10K, a marathon.
Today, sign up for the terrifying thing. And I just really believe in having like key things to focus on and push yourself towards, are like amazing milestones to help with progress. So it was that. And then, like I said, as my education increased, as my awareness increased, as my community and network, I was surrounded by people that were also passionate about that stuff. I think you just get carried up in the momentum and the wave.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't a linear process, as with all these
Yeah.
things. Step back, step forwards,
Yeah.
all of-
Well, there are a lot of habit changes now. Like, what do you do on a daily or weekly basis that you weren't doing before?
do you know the main thing is I actually allocate time for myself, and
Mm.
I was just constantly hustling before. Was constantly hustling. There was no real time to even, I think, reflect on any bad habits because they were just unconsciously happening. Eating the kids' leftovers, grabbing stuff, grabbing and going, just not exercising because I was exhausted and just like sitting down at the end of the day. And I think when you create pockets of your time to even just think and raise your awareness, that's when you can start reflecting a lot. And now I've got pockets of time where I actually spend, I've got set routines I do in the gym where I've got people I hang out with. I go for walks. I went for a gorgeous walk this morning just for like an energy reset. So yeah, little tweaks rather than like huge kind of gestures of change. But
I think you're amazing. I think you're so inspiring.
well, likewise.
Go on, tell us some of your favorite products that we should all get. Go on, do a
Well,
little sales on us.
I am of course an advocate of the like some of the skincare because as a 41, almost 42-year-old woman in her perimenopause, I almost got Botox for my birthday last year. In fact, I had the appointment booked, and I started using some of the skincare products which actually help anti-aging at like a cellular level, and I've never had any injectables or anything else. And I'm super happy with that. So I'm a big advocate of that. But the most amazing product and device that I'm out there working with at the moment is our new kind of antioxidant scanner. So in a 15-second fingerprint, you can get your antioxidant score. You can actually know the impact on your internal health. So all those things we use to track in terms of, our Fitbit, MyFitnessPal, what we're eating, what we're sleeping, our steps. What we've never been able to do before is actually understand the impact on our internal health. And now we're working really closely with a device where you can find that out in a 15-second fingerprint scan. So that's just amazing, working with some incredible wellness professionals, some, private doctors, leaders in the industry, and just bringing that to market this year. So super exciting.
It's cool. Okay, you're going to have to send me links to these things after
Yeah.
this. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Vicky. What advice would you have for someone who's got a business, it doesn't feel quite aligned, what should they do? What should their thought process be?
I think start with the life goals and then figure out if actually the business you're building is going to create that for you, rather than being in the bubble of our business and just going through the motions. It can be so easy when things are working, and even when things are not working, to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So take yourself out of the business bubble, start with the life and what you're really building there, and start looking at maybe stuff on the right hand side of the quadrant as well. And
Yes,
kind of,
investments, that's what it's all about.
yeah, you know, it can start bringing in that stuff to that side of the quadrant to create something magic for yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
So social media is the Vicky Harrison. Reach out, say hello, and website is with vickyharrison.com as well.
Okay, I'll put the links on here.
Yeah, perfect. This
Thank
has
you
been
so
great.
much, and we'll all see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.